have liked it since I was a child. I fell in love with the daughter of heaven. I sensibly withdrew from his world. I transferred to another school, moved to another city, and said goodbye to him completely. I secretly wrote down the diary of my crush, and threw it in the trash can. I didn't expect that I would see Gucci again. He was still holding my diary in his hand. When he found me, I was biting the spoon handed over by my boyfriend. That he was deeply and sad. Why did you abandon me? 1. On the day of the chorus competition, a video went viral in various class groups. At the same time, a shocking gossip also spread. Fengyun School Grass Gucci and School Beauty Bae Duo were dating. As the third person in the threesome, I naturally became the object of many people to inquire about the news. When Qingyu, when on earth did Gucci and Bae Duo get together? I smiled bitterly and said, I really don't know. I looked at everyone's eyes that seemed to believe or not, and remembered the crazy video. After the chorus competition, Bae Duo accidentally fell down the steps in high heels. Gucci, who was walking beside her, pulled Bae Duo hard, turned around with her in his arms, and became Bae Duo's human meat mat. Bae Duo lay on Gucci, and the two looked at each other and smiled at each other. Gucci's light kiss fell on Bae Duo's cheek, and Bae Duo blushed with shame. I didn't know until I saw the video that Gucci had long fallen in love with Bae Duo. In fact, I should have thought of it long ago. The three of us went to and from school together. Gucci looked at Bae Duo with a smile from the bottom of his heart. How can I be surprised that Gucci likes Bae Duo? Gucci and Bae Duo are both children of rich families. They are talented men and beautiful women, and they are the right family. They should have been a match made by heaven and earth. Gucci should like the versatile Bae Duo. Over the years I have followed the two of them and went in and out with them for so long. I almost thought I was one of them, but we were never in the same circle. My mother was the nanny of Gucci's family. After the death of my father, Gucci's parents felt sorry for my mother, so they allowed my mother to take me to live with Gu's family. They even arranged me in Gucci's school to go to and from school with Gucci in the morning and evening. Although however, he always appeared beside Gucci and Bae Duo, but the gap between us was originally heaven and earth. A bracelet in Bae Duo's hand is my mother's half-year salary. Gucci's sports private tutoring class requires 4 digits. Thinking of this, I realized that my secret love for Gucci for so many years was simply a joke. I held the diary full of girls' thoughts tightly, for fear of being seen by anyone. There is still a good girl's expression on my face, but I can't help but have a trace of indifference and impatience in my tone. I really don't know. My classmates didn't believe it. I denied it twice in a row, and some students began to be dissatisfied. You are always with them and they both kiss. You say you don't know. That's right. We're just curious about when they started dating. Tell me what's going on. When Qingyu, are you the shield of the two of them secretly dating? If you hadn't always been by their side, we would have known them long ago. Everyone, you say a word to me, and my emotions that I try to calm down surged up again. I said, I don't know, do you understand? Everyone didn't expect that I would be annoyed and looked at me in shock. At this time, a familiar voice called me at the door of the class. When Qingyu, come out. The clear and cold voice is Gucci at first sound. Everyone turned around one after another, and I followed everyone's sight to look over. Gucci and Bae Duo stood side by side at the door of the classroom. Bae Duo was listening to Gucci's whisper with his face. Bae Duo pouted and showed a cute and delicate expression. Gucci's face was full of pampering. Handsome men and beautiful women are a match made in heaven. I habitually stood up and walked to Gucci, and Bae Duo blinked at me playfully. Gucci called me away alone in front of Bae Duo, and the classmates didn't know gossip at all. After all, no one will think that anything can happen between me and Gucci. To be precise, no one will think that Gucci may like me. 2. Why did you let Duo perform for you? The costumes and shoes of the choir are all customized. Your shoe size is not suitable for Duo. She almost fell on the steps. Gucci's reproachful tone made me very uncomfortable, and he blamed me for not even asking, which made me feel colder. I told you a long time ago that if you are not suitable for the choir, don't participate. You deserted before the performance, and asked Duo to take care of the aftermath for you, causing her to almost fall on the steps. Do you know how dangerous it is? Gucci directly convicted me. He didn't know that I joined the choir just to have a little intersection with him. There are so many extracurricular activities and training courses that my mother can't be responsible for. Only the school's free choir can sign up. But I didn't mean not to participate in the performance. My mother was sick today, and I was guarding her in the hospital all morning. He didn't know. I just told the teacher of the choir that I couldn't go on stage today, and asked him to find someone else to replace me. I didn't know that the other he was looking for was Bae Duo. I originally wanted to explain, but before I could say anything, Gucci said coldly, "What's your expression? Did I wrong you? Wasn't it because of your absence that Duo almost got hurt?" I suddenly understood. It doesn't matter what reason or suffering I have. The important thing is that Bidajuo almost got hurt. This is what Gucci cares about. Beiduoduo is his sweetheart. How can he not feel sad when he was almost injured? To understand this, the mind I want to explain disappeared completely. What Gucci asked for was not for me to give him a reasonable explanation, but for Beiduoduo. 3. I apologized. I'm sorry, it's all my fault. Gucci's tone was still unkind. Why did you apologize to me? It's not me who almost got hurt. I smiled bitterly. I heard that you became a human cushion of Beiduoduo. Of course I have to apologize to you. Gucci's face suddenly became ugly. Before he got angry, I quickly said, I will apologize to Beiduoduo. Gucci's reproach could only swallow, and even his eyebrows frowned fiercely. He stared at me for a long time and finally said, indicating that he had let me go. I turned back to the classroom to look for Bidodo. I'm in the same class as Beiduoduo, but I'm not in Gucci. Originally, I went to and from school with Gucci, and then Beiduoduo joined us. Everyone goes to and from school, does homework together and eats together. I think everyone is a good friend, so it's nothing. But now I feel like a huge light bulb, shamelessly following Gucci and Beiduoduo every day, without noticing that I am hindering their communication and getting along with each other. Maybe Gucci and Beiduoduo have long disliked me for not knowing each other. In the past, I didn't realize this matter. Now that I know it, I can't be so unpleasant anymore. So, I began to refuse to go to and from school with them for various reasons, and slowly refused to eat and do homework with them. Later, I kept a complete distance from the two of them. Whether Gucci asked me to play badminton together or Bitaduo asked me to go to the newly opened cake shop on the weekend, I didn't go there. Perhaps because I suddenly refused too many times, Gucci finally realized that something was wrong with me. One weekend, Beiduoduo invited me to hang out with me. Just when I was about to refuse on the grounds that I didn't finish my homework, Gucci came over. Which course's homework haven't you finished? Gucci's tone was a strong anger. I was a little guilty. There are several doors. Why did you go yesterday, Saturday? I'm doing my homework. You can't finish writing for a day? Duoduo finished writing in half a day. What's the matter with you? Hearing this sentence, I suddenly wanted to go back. Beiduoduo quickly took my hand and said, Qingyu, if you don't finish it, come back at night and write it. Then he was angry with Gucci. Why are you shouting so loudly? You scared Qingyu. Gucci turned his face slightly and didn't say a word. Bidajuo pulled me again and said, Gucci has a game today. Won't you go to see it? Gucci glared at me, as if asking me how I could forget his game today. In the past, I remembered his every game firmly and did not miss any of them. But that was a long time ago. In the end, I will be pulled to Gucci's game site, but I will no longer have the energy to cheer for him before. Even if Gucci looks at me frequently, I just don't see it. Beiduoduo was enthusiastic from beginning to end. After the game, it was the same celebration banquet as usual. 4. At the celebration banquet, Gucci and Beiduoduo were surrounded by the crowd, and I was immersed in the crowd and became one of the many onlookers. Looking at Gucci and Beiduoduo, who were squeezed in the middle and pulled the flowers together, I had never felt the gap between me and them so clearly before. In fact, Gucci and I have known each other since elementary school, and Beiduoduo High School just transferred to my class. She has a good personality, is cheerful and generous. And there is no arrogance in the rich woman. At first sight, we often play together. Over time, she and Gucci also became familiar with each other. Later, we found out that Bidajuo lived in the community next to Gucci's house. Gucci's house is next to the west gate of the community, and Beido's house is next to the east gate of the community. Their two families are only separated by one street. Even if the right person comes a little late, he will come eventually, which is fate. Just like Gucci and Beiduoduo. They were crowded together, and someone even coaxed them to kiss another one. Gucci gently pecked Beiduoduo's cheek. Beiduoduo blushed again. She lowered her head shyly and could also see the blush on her cheeks. Gucci gently hugged her, and there was a gentle and satisfied smile between his eyebrows. This scene really stung me. Anyway, there was nothing to do with me at the scene, so I left quietly. Go home and go to bed early. I heard someone knocking on my door in the middle of the night. I opened the door in a daze, and standing outside was Gucci with an angry face. Don't say a word when you leave early? His tone revealed great unhappiness, and I was slightly surprised. I was also a little transparent person who was not noticed by anyone. Did it affect his celebration banquet when I left? You didn't even say congratulations to me? Gucci seems to be even more angry. I suddenly realized, smiled quickly and said, Congratulations. But I continued. So many people congratulate you. You haven't heard enough. You still want to ask me for congratulations in the middle of the night. Gucci left with a black face, leaving me at the door of the bedroom inexplicably. I was stunned for a moment, turned around and closed the door to continue sleeping. I don't know why Gucci closed the door loudly, as if he was very angry. However, this is what Bitoto should care about as a girlfriend, not something I should care about. Maybe something unpleasant happened at the celebration banquet. You can't go crazy just because I didn't congratulate him. 5. Gucci seemed to be really angry because I didn't congratulate him and ignored me for several days. I know that he is probably waiting for me to take the initiative to make up with him as before. But now it's different. Not only did I not take the initiative to make up with him, but I also asked the teacher to quit the choir. When Gucci heard the news, his face turned long. He appeared at the door of my class, shouted me out, cornered me and asked me what I meant. Gucci put his hand on the wall and blocked my way. This scene happened to be seen by withdrew. From her point of view, Gucci seemed to hit me in the wall. I saw withdrew's eyes with a trace of puzzlement, and a little guilty flashed in my heart. I was even more annoyed that Gucci ignored that he already had a girlfriend and behaved so at will. That night, withdrew came to the point with me. Qingyu, Gucci is not the person you can think of, do you understand? Although withdrew's words are a little direct, I can't accept it at all. After all, I have seen the gap between me and them. They seem to be together every day, but in fact they have never been in the same world. Withdrew has never been silent, straightforward and ostentatious. I never thought that withdrew, who was originally the daughter of heaven, would also use this kind of trick. In fact, I have never really known her. After school, Bito pulled me to find Gucci together, and then fell into the middle of the road in front of Gucci and passed by the speeding vehicle. Gucci was so scared that withdrew defended for me at the first time with a white face. Gucci, Qingyu didn't push me. A sentence is heart-wrenching. Gucci squatted on the ground and supported withdrew. His eyes looked at me cold and strange, as if there was still a strong disappointment. I was so uncomfortable with Gucci's eyes that I turned around and was about to get in the car. Gucci rushed up and closed the co-pilot's door. Apologize. Gucci said angrily. Do you know that it will kill you? Apologize. I laughed angrily. Gucci, didn't you hear what withdrew said? She said that I didn't push her. Gucci's face was extremely cold, and he looked at me as if he was looking at something disgusting. He said, When Qingyu, if you haven't realized your own mistakes, walk home today. After saying that, he took Bitoto into the car. I stood still. He waited for me for 2 minutes. Seeing that I still didn't speak, he coldly ordered the driver to drive. I stopped him. Gucci. Gucci rolled down the window and looked at me with some satisfaction in his eyes. Oh, what's so gratifying? I'm glad that I finally found out my conscience. Do you want to apologize to his goddess? But what I said made Gucci dumbfounded. Gucci, what do you think you are? This is the worst thing I said to Gucci, although it was dirty enough to make him dumbfounded. Gucci gritted his teeth and ordered the driver to drive. I looked at the car in the distance, and tears finally couldn't help flowing down. Today I was going to review the diary that the Chi family took away by me in the trash can, which was full of my girlish thoughts about Gucci. My mother has resigned from Gucci's job, and I have also completed the transfer procedures. Today is my last opportunity to say goodbye to Gucci. This is probably fate. I wiped my tears and headed in the opposite direction. Mom is already waiting for me in the hotel. Tomorrow we will leave here to live in a new city. That diary, that's it. It was originally garbage from the bottom of my heart. Why take it away? 6. After transferring to a new school, I changed my mother's contact information, and even my WeChat account was registered. Maybe it's to get out as soon as possible, maybe it's to open a good university. I've been studying hard throughout my senior year of high school. Later, I entered a good university. After graduation, I found a good job and lived a full and busy life. I had no time to recall the past. 5 years in a flash, I didn't expect to see Gucci again. When I met him, I was being embarrassed by the client. The tea in the customer's hand splashed all over me. I raised my hand to wipe my face, and then I had to smile and apologize to the customer. Suddenly, I saw Gucci enter the hall of the company. Even if I haven't seen him for 5 years, I can recognize him and the Bitoto beside her with just one eye. It seems that they have a good relationship, and they are still as suitable as a few years ago. I know that, of course, the prince and the princess will be together, but when I saw this scene with my own eyes, my heart still stings slightly. I hope Gucci didn't see me. I'm covered with tea foam and I'm so embarrassed. And they, my colleagues, are surrounded, high and beautiful. It is in stark contrast to me. It's not a person from the same world at all. Listen to the conversation. They are key customers of our company, and are specially invited to play. Mr. Gu, what's the matter? Gucci didn't move. The colleague who received him was slightly surprised and asked, Is there anything wrong with you? I looked in the direction of Gucci, and he was about to raise his feet and walk towards me. I immediately wanted to escape, but as soon as I turned around, Gucci grabbed my wrist. I haven't seen you for so many years, and you want to run away without saying hello. Your style has really not changed at all. Gucci's voice was full of sarcasm and trembling. I don't know if he was angry or not. I don't know where the anger came from. Dolly tried to shake off his wrist, but it was useless. Gucci let go. Gucci frowned slightly, as if he couldn't figure out why I did this. He just wanted to say something, but he was already gathered around at the same time. Mr. Gu, do you know each other? Everyone's eyes fell on me and him. Seeing Gucci holding my hand, my colleagues looked at the same, and some looked at Bei Duo who had just come in astonishment. Bei Duo tried to squeeze out a smile. Qingyu, why are you here? Bei Duo silently touched my wrist, which had been grasped by Gucci. Her tone was full of intimacy and heartache, but it was full of sarcasm to me. Qingyu, why are you so embarrassed? I didn't know what to say, but Bei Duo looked at the supervisor who received them on his own. Qingyu is my friend and Gucci, we haven't seen each other for a long time. Can you ask her to entertain us? Bidajuo is still vicious and asks me to serve them. I looked at Gucci for help. Gucci turned away slightly and agreed to Bei Duo's arrangement without saying a word. I could only be put on the back of T-foam and was taken to their box by Beidodora. There are some people in the box. At first glance, they are the rich second generation. Bidajuo said that I was a friend, and their inquiring eyes fell on me. Some people's hearts are straightforward. Friends? It doesn't look like it. I know what he said is my shabby dress. Gucci, do you count as a discount? I was stung by this sentence. Yes, it's over. In fact, what he said is absolutely right. People are originally divided into 3, 6, and 9. There is even a girl running. He came over and pulled up my arm, took a closer look at the bracelet on my wrist, and then turned around and complained to her friends with a bitter face. Now the merchant even wants to imitate my ancestral bracelet? I felt even more uncomfortable when I heard this. This bracelet was sold to me by the boss for 2,000 yuan. He thought I was too shabby and took it to me. He said that the original version of this thing was unique. Ordinary people have never seen it, let alone see that it was a fake, so I could wear it. But as soon as I put it on today, I was grabbed by the owner of the original version. I was so embarrassed that the little girl still grabbed my hand and asked me, "Little sister, where on earth did you buy this bracelet? Tell me. I'm going to find that black-hearted store. Even my ancestral bracelet dares to imitate it. I don't think he wants to do business well." My brother took my bracelet and gave it to my future sister-in-law. He also boasted that it was unique. If the future sister-in-law knew that imitations were all over the street, she would not want my brother. The little girl's tone was full of indignation, and she didn't mean to despise me at all, but I still inevitably blushed. 5 years have passed, but I still can't cope with this situation. Gucci must have humiliated me again. Someone asked me how I knew Gucci and Bei Duo. Gucci said carefully, "She is mine. I'm his high school classmate." I took Gucci's words. The man said, "I've never heard Gucci mention it." Gucci's face was a little embarrassed. I smiled and said, "Because we don't know each other very well, of course we won't mention it." As soon as the words fell, Gucci's face was ugly again. "Wen Qingyu." He called my name in a calm voice. Bei Duo ran out to play again. "Qingyu, it's fate to meet. Let's play together. Although it's your working time, I'll tell your leader not to embarrass you." Haha. There is no word that Bei Duo doesn't imply the gap between me and them. I used to think of these words as her bluntness. Now that I have work experience, if I can't see Bei Duo's purpose anymore, I can probably find a piece of tofu and hit it to death. Bei Duo is a villain with 2 faces and 3 knives. In the past he was good with me. I'm afraid that from the beginning, he wanted to make friends with Gucci. So now she is already Gucci's side, and she is still so hypocritical to me. Why? 7. I'm sorry, the company after missing the scumbag. I reached the peak of my life 39,103. Termamarams. I still work ITTS. Gucci suddenly said. What work do you have to do? The tone of the questioning was the same as 5 years ago when he asked me, hello, what homework have you not finished? On the day of the competition. Thinking of this, I was so annoyed and my face became cold. Does it have anything to do with you, Mr. Gu? Gucci was stunned and his face was a little ugly. Wen Qingyu, I haven't seen you for 5 years. You have a good temper. How dare you talk to me like this? You want to run away without even saying hello when you see me? I didn't say anything when you didn't say goodbye. What are you crazy about me? Bei Duo also said at the right time. Qingyu, is our friendship fake for so many years? You didn't even say goodbye to the transfer. Gucci and I have been sad for many years. That's all in the past. We won't mention it. But today, why do you pretend not to know us? Haven't you regarded me and Gucci as friends? What a bitch. Not to mention the words, she didn't forget to put her and Gucci together all the time. Gucci listened to Bei Duo's words and looked at me with the same disappointment, as if I was so sorry for him. I was wondering whether to leave directly, and a familiar voice came from behind. Wen Qingyu, what are you doing? The tone is not very good, but it is like heaven in my ears. This voice is my boss Zhou Shang. Everyone looked behind me and I turned my head. Zhou Shang was leaning against the door of the box, with his hands on his chest. This man always has a hint of flat temperament in his good-looking appearance. Brother, didn't you just say you weren't here? The speaker was the little girl who took my hand and looked at the bracelet just now. Zhou Shang turned over the white sheep man and didn't answer. He raised his chin, but his eyes looked at me. Zhou Ying, my sister, is not very stupid. I nodded silently to show that I knew. Then, Zhou Shang opened up his firepower at me. Wen Qingyu, let me send you to learn diving. You are so good at diving. It's a pity not to learn diving. The organ under your nose is called the mouth. In addition to eating, it can also be used to talk, do you know? I was speechless. Zhou Shang couldn't spit out any ivory in his mouth. Gu Qi was very angry. Mr. Zhou, is it too much for you to talk like this? Zhou Shang directly ignored Gu Qi and said lazily, Wen Qingyu, won't you come over yet? I walked to him quickly. But Bei Duo suddenly asked, Mr. Zhou, we are friends of Qingyu. We haven't seen each other for a long time. Can you let her entertain us? After listening to this sentence, Zhou Shang's face was a little ugly and then joked, let my people receive you. Where did you get such a big face? Bei Duo's face suddenly became as ugly as eating shit, and my heart was dark and happy. Zhou Ying suddenly reacted and shouted at Zhou Shang, Brother! Bracelet, that bracelet is the one from our ancestors, right? Is this my future sister-in-law? Zhou Shang glanced at Zhou Ying in disgust, pulled me to turn around and leave, leaving others shocked. Naturally, I didn't see it. When Gu Qi heard Zhou Ying's words, his face seemed to be covered with a layer of frost. I didn't even see that he wanted to rush out to chase me, but his arm was pulled by Bidodo. Gu Qi, if you catch up like this, Qingyu will not do well in front of her boss. 8. I followed Zhou Shang to his office. Zhou Shang looked at me several times from head to toe, which made my heart flutter. Wen Qingyu, the one below is the man you like? How did I meet such a gossip boss? Is the woman next to him his girlfriend? Are you in love but can't? That woman seems to be a threat to you. That man seems to be interested in you. Sentence after sentence, I quickly said. Boss, it's just a past when I was young and ignorant. We haven't seen each other for 5 years. Don't gossip too much. Zhou Shang seems to be a little satisfied with my answer. So you don't like that man now, do you? He asked me with some expectation. I really don't know what to expect. Are you looking forward to watching me stage a romantic love triangle drama? I shook my head. I don't like it. Zhou Shang's face looked more satisfied. I'm a little confused. What is he satisfied with? Zhou Shang's eyes turned. Boss, I don't want to work in the office today. You can find the nearest 5-star hotel and open a presidential suite for me. In addition, you work overtime today and report to me your work experience at the grassroots level during this period. Inexplicable. However, the boss's salary is high, and it's not too tolerant to be a little psychotic. I immediately agreed and quickly opened the room, and followed him to the presidential suite of the hotel next door. Zhou Shang asked me to report to him the grassroots work over and over again during this period. When I said it for the 6th time, my mobile phone rang. Zhou Shang's eyes suddenly lit up. 9. I connected the phone and Gu Qi was on the other end of the phone. I don't know how he got my number. Well, it's not difficult for these rich people at all. Qingyu, why do you treat me like this? As soon as Gu Qi opened his mouth, he looked sick, as if I had really done something to him. Qingyu, you are not Zhou Ying's future sister-in-law, are you? I have investigated that you are not dating your boss. You are just the relationship between the boss and the employees. Well, he quickly figured out my relationship with Zhou Shang, but does it have anything to do with him? Gu Qi, if you have something to say, I'm still busy. I said coldly. Qingyu, why did you become like this? I didn't blame you for saying goodbye 5 years ago. Why are you angry with me? Besides, your attitude towards Duo today is really bad. She cares about you so much. After you leave, she always sheds tears when she mentions you. Why does it seem that you have never been with us in your heart? Aren't we best friends? An anger surged in my heart, and Gu Qi's words can always easily provoke my emotions. I tried to suppress my anger and told him word by word. Gu Qi, we have never been friends. Gu Qi seemed to be stunned, and there was a long silence on the other side. Just as I was about to lose my patience and hang up the phone, Gu Qi asked me, have you never treated me and Bei Duo as friends? Never. I'm just their followers, aren't I? Gu Qi himself has called me a little follower countless times. Doesn't he remember these? Gu Qi seemed to be very injured, and his voice was trembling. Duo regards you as her best friend, but you think so. Qingyu, what was our friendship in the past? In the past? You called me a little follow-up, do you remember? That's just a joke, Wen Qingyu. We have never forgotten you over the years, never. Gu Qi hurriedly defended himself. Zhou Shang has lost his patience. Qingyu, don't you feel sick? Do you still want to listen to his verbose? Zhou Shang's voice was so loud that Gu Qi on the opposite side could hear it clearly. Sure enough, Gu Qi also turned up his voice. When Qingyu, who is the man around you? Is it Zhou Shang? Aren't you just working? Why are you together in the middle of the night? When Qingyu, you'd better make it clear to me. I hung up the phone and looked at Zhou Shang helplessly. Unexpectedly, he looked at me with an innocent expression. I tentatively asked, "Boss, did you do it on purpose?" He brought me to the hotel to work, asked me to report my work over and over again, and deliberately spoke loudly to Gu Qi in any way. It was all intentional. Zhou Shang shamelessly said, "I'm welcome to help you get rid of rotten peach blossoms." I raised my hand to support my forehead and saw the bracelet on my wrist. "Boss, I didn't know that this bracelet was your ancestors'. I'm sorry, I'll give it back to you." Zhou Shang jumped 3 feet high and avoided my hand handing over the bracelet. You take it first. You don't know how happy my family is when I give this bracelet away. You should keep it for me first and keep it in front of me all the time. Don't lose it. Well, it's good to wear it all the time. Don't throw it away or break it. It's so expensive that you can't afford it. I said. It's so precious, I'm afraid. It's okay. Don't be afraid. Just think of me as renting it to you. You don't have to feel lost. 1,000 yuan a month will be deducted from your salary. Is that what I mean? Before I could speak, Zhou Shang stood up and stretched out. I'm sleepy. That's all for today. Your room is next door. Good night. He hid. 10. When I was having breakfast in the morning, I met Gu Qi and Bei Duo in the hotel. The two of them came towards me, and I turned a blind eye. Gu Qi asked me with a calm face. When Qingyu, what on earth do you mean? I was annoyed. What do you mean? Didn't you make it clear enough? Bei Duo pulled Gu Qi's arm. I asked you to call Qingyu out to play last night. Why didn't you call her? Gu Qi was furious. Where did she have time last night? He is busier at night than during the day. Bei Duo. If you forget it yourself, just say you forgot it. What can Qingyu do at night? Don't shirk responsibility. I won't blame you. Duo, you have missed her for nothing all these years. Some people are so cold-hearted and have never treated us as friends. It's not worth your concern for her. Two people, you say a word and I say a word, yin and yang are strange. I was so uncomfortable that I got up and was about to leave. Gu Qi panicked and grabbed my arm. Don't leave. Let's have a good talk. Bei Duo's eyes fell on Gu Qi and my wrists, and the dark color was unknown. When Qingyu, don't you have to go to work? What time is it? You're still talking there. Zhou Shang appeared in time, and I took the opportunity to shake off Gu Qi and walk towards him. I thought I would finally get rid of Gu Qi and Bei Duo, but I didn't expect to meet Bei Duo again in the underground garage. Qingyu, can we have a good talk? I looked at her expression and knew that she wanted to trick me again, so I looked around vigilantly. What do you want to talk to me about? Are you still angry with me? 5 years ago I accidentally fell down. Gu Qi misunderstood that you pushed me. It was too impolite to talk to you. Oh, after so many years I forgot. So do you still like Gu Qi? Bei Duo stared into my eyes and asked. Without waiting for me to answer, she said to herself, you must still like it, or how could it appear in front of us on purpose? You know that we often come here to play, that's why we apply for a job here, right? But it's useless, Qingyu. Gu Qi is not the person you can think of. It wasn't 5 years ago and it's still not. As long as I say a word, Gu Qi's mother will think that your mother stole my necklace and kicked your mother and you out of the Gu family, and you disappeared from Gu Qi's world for 5 years. And we have been together for the past 5 years. You are just a nanny's daughter. You have to recognize your identity. I was shocked and said, my mother was driven away? You falsely accused my mother of stealing. She smiled slightly. So what? I was furious. How can you do this? She looked around for a week, but took the opportunity to pull my hand and fell to the side. Not far away, a car is coming slowly. It's as if I pushed it. I'm speechless. 5 years have passed, but the methods are still the same. Gu Qi is going to rush out again. Sure enough, Gu Qifei ran over quickly and helped Bei Duo up unexpectedly. He roared at me angrily. When Qingyu, it's the second time. I thought you were careless last time, but can you be careless twice? Why are you so vicious? Why did you do this? Where on earth did Duo offend you? Are you going to put her to death? Bei Duo seemed to be scared. As soon as she came to her senses, she said to Gu Qi, it's not Qingyu, it's my own carelessness. Gu Qi, why are you so kind? Do you know how close that car is to you that you were almost run over? When Qingyu doesn't treat you as a friend at all. She doesn't care about you. Don't you understand until now? I watched the farce in front of me and lost the heart to watch it. Just in my hand I have Zhou Shang's car key, and I came down to get something for him. I took a deep breath, walked to Zhou Shang's car and opened the door. A foot of oil rushed to the dog man and woman in front of him. Gucci looked at the car rushing straight at him and was dumbfounded. Duo also screamed, and his voice was frighteningly high in decibels. I controlled the car to pass by them, braked suddenly, and then reversed the car and parked it in the parking space. I walked back to them and sneered. Did you see clearly? This is my means. Gucci called my name with a dark face. Wenqingyu, I said. Bitches and dogs, the sky and the earth will last forever. And then I left. Point 11. I don't know how Zhou Sheng knew about the basement. After joining the company for so long, he praised me for the first time. Well, it's worthy of the person I personally picked in. He still has a little backbone and courage and has my demeanor. It's good. For your good performance, I decided to give you a reward. In my heart, I felt that Zhou Sheng couldn't hold back anything good, so I subconsciously refused. No boss, I really don't need it. Zhou Sheng looked at me with approval. Originally, I was going to give you a 20% salary increase. Since you don't want it, I can't force others to do it. These days, there are not many employees who don't want to get a raise. I was so angry with him. After thinking about it, he said euphemistically, a good employee should obey the boss's instructions unconditionally. How can he refuse the boss? Zhou Sheng nodded and said, you're right. Then you should work more overtime this month. Never mention the fact that you just said you would give me a raise. Zhou Sheng is a dog. I thought they would never appear by my side after I was about to hit Gucci and others. However, in just a week, Gucci appeared downstairs in my company, still holding my diary in his hand. I blushed, and another sourness surged into my heart. Gucci said, I have something to tell you. I'm impatient. Are you here to ask for an argument for your girlfriend again? Why don't we call the police to deal with it? Gucci choked. No, I'm not asking for an exone for her, and she's not my girlfriend. I looked at him in surprise and didn't know what he was up to. Gucci said, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. I didn't expect that Bidajuo fell down by herself. She wanted me to misunderstand you, and I fell for her. He took my diary and whispered, I just recently figured out why you didn't say goodbye. You must have misunderstood that I was with Duo. You obviously like me so much. Of course, you can't stand me being with other women, but I haven't. First, I just wanted to make you jealous. I know you like me, but you won't say it. I just want to stimulate you. I laughed angrily. Gucci, are you acting in a TV series with me? Gucci looked at me carefully. I didn't. I thought you would confess your feelings to me if I got closer to Bidajuo, but I didn't expect that you would leave. I haven't said anything yet. Zhou Sheng's voice has come. Haha, this kind of statement is enough to deceive junior high school students. Why are you still lying to adults here? Zhou Sheng looked at me and said, you don't really believe this statement, do you? If you like someone, you can chase him bravely. How can you plan to force others to open their mouths? He likes to take the initiative so much. How blind is he to see that the woman likes him? Do you like to watch the drama of two women fighting for him in jealousy? You think you're the emperor. You're so stupid. Gucci's face became darker and darker. I signaled Zhou Sheng to go up first. Zhou Sheng thought about it and went upstairs first. Before leaving, he turned around and said, I'll wait for you upstairs. If it weren't for the downstairs of the office building, it would really be imaginating. Gucci looked at me carefully. Qingyu, it's not what he said. I smiled and said, isn't it? You said that Duo lied to you. Isn't you wrong at all? When your classmates envied that you had a school beauty girlfriend, didn't you secretly be proud? Are you also acting with me when you force me to apologize to Bidajuo? Don't you think I'm ashamed at all? Because my mother is just your nanny. Gucci, aren't you and Duo getting engaged? Your performance in this play is too good. Gucci blushed anxiously. Qingyu, I got engaged to her because I thought I would never find you again. He took my diary and asked me, you have liked me for so many years. Now we are finally reunited. Don't you want me? I smiled and said, Gucci, look at the date of this diary. The fact that I like you is a thing of the past. Do you understand? I have given Gucci many chances, but he didn't catch it once. But now he accuses me of not staying where I am and waiting for him. It's ridiculous. I turned around and left, and Gucci's face turned pale. 12. Gucci was looking for me downstairs, and Duo was looking for Zhou Sheng upstairs. The two of them really had a tacit understanding. I heard the voice of Duo coming from inside at the door of Zhou Sheng's office. She is slandering me. Wenqingyu is just the daughter of a nanny. She can seduce Mr. Zhou and Gucci, two nobles of rich families, to remember her. She is really capable. Mr. Zhou, do you think so? Zhou Sheng said. Well, I'm really much better than you. Duo said angrily. Wenqingyu's mother is a thief. If there is a mother, there must be a daughter. Wenqingyu's hands and feet are not clean. Zhou Sheng. What did you steal? Your necklace? Didn't you find it later? Bidajuo, who gave you the courage to act in front of me? Just with your acting skills you still want to lie to me, a blind fool like Gucci. You are really a vicious woman, but I still want to thank you. If it hadn't been for your pushing and forcing, Gucci's mother expelled my future mother-in-law. My mother-in-law will not bring Qingyu to this city, so I won't meet Qingyu. Duo was hit hard. Mr. Zhou, both you and Gucci like when Qingyu. Why? What on earth is good about her? Zhou Sheng. You are kind-hearted. Don't think about it. A woman like you can't learn it in your life. Get out of here. Watching you for too long will affect my eyesight. Duo couldn't stand Zhou Sheng's poisonous tongue and ran away crying. I couldn't dodge. I was caught in the corner of the wall. Zhou Sheng saw that I was also a little guilty in a rare way. Why does he feel guilty? I didn't realize until the evening. Zhou Sheng squirmed at me. When Qingyu, you heard that, didn't you? I like you. Would you like to be my girlfriend and try to date? I feel like the sky is thundering. Although I have always had this vague feeling, I can still pretend not to know when the window paper is not pierced. Zhou Sheng and I are not from the same world. I don't know whether I should agree to his dating request, although he gives me a completely different feeling from Gucci. I was silent. Zhou Sheng said to himself, I know you are shy. I'm embarrassed to say that it's okay. I'll assume that you acquiesce. Do I have it? Zhou Sheng pulled the door and said, Let's go. I'll take you home today. Teen. Since then it has become Zhou Sheng's job to get vaccinated every day. Then one day, he told me that the engagement between Gucci and Duo had been cancelled. Gucci publicly said that Duo's character was inferior. She would rather die than marry a woman like Duo. Duo lost face and died socially, so she hid directly abroad. When I returned to my house downstairs that day, Gucci was waiting for me. He is still holding the diary. Qingyu, can you give me another chance? Qingyu, you are the only one I like from beginning to end. I looked at Gucci, and there were no ripples in my heart for a long time. Get out of here, I said. Zhou Sheng pulled me and said, The restaurant at the gate of your community looks good. I'll treat you to dinner tonight. I'm surprised. Obviously last month he complained that the restaurant made the food as bad as shit. Today, do you want to eat shit? Zhou Sheng pulled me to sit by the window. The spoon was brought to my mouth with soup. Good boy, open your mouth. I looked at Gucci, who was following us all the way and was now standing outside the window, and opened his mouth obediently. When Gucci saw this scene, he left dejectedly. Zhou Sheng said, When Qingyu, you haven't officially agreed to date me yet. When Qingyu, will you be my girlfriend? Okay, I said.